Hey, what's up, guys? This is Maestro Just Draws, also known as MJD. Hope everyone is going well. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas. And today I'm here to go over some of my comic illustrations. Now, so most of you may already know that I am doing comic art, so comic illustration. I'm currently doing it for about 3 or 4 people now. So basically, this comic, which is called The Adventures of James Lennox and the Divine Elixir Water. Yeah, so this comic is mostly heavily inspired by like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, and it caught my interest, and I said, okay, let's do it. I'm also trying to make my own comic, which is a slow process, but we move. So yeah, let's get started. So when it comes to like drawing comics, I tend to find what the composition is. So the composition is basically like finding different elements that are appealing, that like form something within the image that makes it more appealing to the viewer's eyes. So basically it provides like more definition or has a meaning towards it. Um, and when it comes to like doing the composition, I find it out and I figure it out after like doing thumbnail sketches. I go straight ahead doing some anatomy. I don't like to like draw the characters with their clothing. I don't think that's like the best way to do it. I think the best way to like start with the skeleton first and then work on to the anatomy. It's slow at first, but I'm more comfortable in that way. It allows me to focus on how to structure the muscles, how the movements would be, what's the form like, and those certain aspects which are mostly important when it comes to drawing, because you have different characters that are interacting with each other, and you don't want them to be stiff within the art piece, because if they're stiff in the art piece, then it's not going to look that good. It's going to look weird. It's going to look clunky. It's not going to look that appealing. So basically, I'm drawing the clothing, I'm drawing the armor sets for the knights. The knights are fighting off against goblins at the top panel. On the middle panel, you have a female warrior, or a female knight. She's fighting against an Orak. Then for the third panel, you have elves that are fighting off against giants. Now, when I was drawing it, I wanted there to be, for yes, when I said before, composition, I wanted there to be like this um, trail which is being followed along each panel. So basically, um, that would also lead to like composition as well. Swinging his sword and cutting the head off of the goblin. I intended that for it to lead to the next panel. So basically when the reader they will automatically see that and then go to the next panel. The second panel was kind of tricky because I was wondering how I was going to lay it out or how I was going to draw it. But I didn't want the female knight to be like standing and facing off against the Orak or just like swinging while she's on the ground. I wanted her to have like motion, like she's actually flying or like she's jumping from his swing. So basically, he's swinging his axe and she dodges it in time for her to like strike down with her sword, but then he blocks it. For her leg, which is leading to the third panel. Yeah, so the third panel was pretty much was really fun. Actually, 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 I think I liked the first panel. I think the first panel was more fun, but the third panel I liked it. I liked it a lot because it's the first time I've ever drawn like characters holding bows and arrows. For the black, which is in the drawings, I'm trying to like adapt David Finch's art style when it comes to like comics. I really love his eye when it comes to like shading and character designs in certain like superheroes, especially like Batman or like Superman. It's not easy to apply dark, especially black, to certain areas because you don't want it to overwhelm, but it's overwhelm the drawing. But usually when there's no light being directed at certain areas, you would put black. So, for example, with the elf who is standing with his bow and arrow, his cape is basically being hidden from light. Most folds I tend to do it black as well because those folded areas not going to have that much light. You could also implement it in the muscles, for example, like the giant over there that was standing with his hand behind his back. For the coloring now, for the coloring, I tended to use like pale colors. I didn't want to use anything bright. I thought it was a good idea to use like red in the middle, red on the female knight, because I thought it would be like more appealing. Because since I have a lot of cool colors, except for the little parts of the armor that is on the first panel, which is like orange or bronze, like a bronze color on some of the armor plates. Um, the red stands out, but I did it enough in order for it to be like, oh, it's not that bright, but I said let me try and use it, but it came out very well. So it's good to I like to use like pale like colors. I don't like to like go in full throttle and use like bright colors because I don't think that's gonna be like make much sense. Depending on what you're trying to do and what you're trying to convey in a particular art piece, then fine, that's good. But yeah, when it comes to like goblins, the goblins are all green, obviously, because goblins are like green creatures. They love to hunt, kill, and all those types of stuff. So I tried to make them much as disgusting as possible. Um, so yeah, especially like for like the interactions of the goblins with the knights, I really tried to implement like their facing off against each other because I didn't want the characters to feel stiff. So basically, for the interaction, for an example, using like the goblin jumping in the air with both an axe and a sword, the knight is pointing right towards him, shouting, saying there's an attack, and the goblins are charging, ready to strike upon them. But yeah, that's the type of interaction that I like. The other interaction where the swordsman swipes and decapitates the goblin's head, that was also a good choice. Especially like the swinging motion on seeing like the blue streak or the white streak where he's basically cutting through air and it's following a trail of blood, of the goblin's blood. For the giants now, the giants, I didn't want the bottom of them to be seen, like their feet and whatever. I wanted it to be more of like a menacing um, showdown between the elves and the giants. So I made them to be more deadly or more terrifying, if you put it so likely. So I showed like fire being um, burned between them, so they're facing off against each other and allowing them to be lit by the fire that they breathe. The goblins at the top again. I decided to copy and paste. Some of you think something's wrong with it. Nothing is wrong with it. I don't care. It's good. It's a good process. It's a good tactic. It doesn't waste time. That's for sure. That, I don't know why people don't like using it, but I don't care. It's really good to use. If it's there, so use it. I ain't gonna just say nah, I'm gonna use it. It doesn't make me less of an artist not to use it. Are you crazy? No, no, I'm gonna use it, obviously. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So for the lighting, yeah, I did a little shadow, a little bit of blood smear, and the text, and that's pretty much it. Oh, and also black and white, because I want to see the values, and also it pretty looks good in black and white. So black and white is good for checking your values, so I recommend it. And see you next time.